So in 32, we were talking about that Prabhupada is saying here's a contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying his best to turn every man towards Krishna consciousness. Ah, okay. Well, that's interesting. Um, withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly. Okay, does it mean that going in a secluded place is not good? Is that what Prabhupada means? Just it's a question. This is what we last read. I'm just trying to start from there.
Prabhuji, may I say something?
Yes,
It's
please go ahead.
yogi is interested in his own personal elevation. He's not worried about other people. As
Okay, yes.
devotee help other people also, you know. So
Yeah, that's a good point. So Prabhupada is not necessarily criticizing solitude by itself. Yes. So what Prabhupada is saying is wrong is self-centered spirituality. So of a person who is just focused on my liberation, my peace, with no concern for others, that's whom Prabhupada is saying is not good. People can go into secluded places. We have examples of our own acharyas. Can somebody think of an acharya who was not a very
Gorakishadas Babaji.
yes,
Vamshidas Babaji.
Yes, both of them, both the Babajis, and it looks like they lived in seclusion. They avoided society. They did not preach in the conventional sense. But the key difference is the motive. It's not necessarily the external behavior. Right? If somebody withdraws for personal elevation, that Prabhupada is saying is not appropriate. Whereas the Babajis we are referring to Babaji Maharaj, they were completely absorbed in Krishna. They had no personal agenda whatsoever. Right? So that Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj's renunciation was not just for himself. He said, "No, I want to become great, so I'll be in the corner." No, it was just pure absorption. He was beyond both preaching and non-preaching. So that's the way to understand that, right? He cannot be in seclusion. Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, he trained Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So yes, so seclusion, solitude does not mean that it's only detrimental if we do it for our own pleasure. Okay, so we'll start with 33. This is now, so Arjun is going to start speaking. Now, so in this remaining part, so this is the chapter has 47 verses. From here till 47, Arjun is going to ask two questions, and Krishna is going to answer both of them. So two questions will be answered. So Arjun is saying, "O Madhusudan, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady." So the process that Krishna has recommended Arjun is to control your mind. Right. So he says, what was this saying? Etasya aham na pashyami. Right. So pashyami is the word meaning of the word pashyami is to see. Right. So Krishna has used this word in the past. That's why. So whenever you notice that many a times, when Arjun asks a question, he picks up words from Krishna's statements to stress on that. Okay, you said this. This was the word you used, and my question is around this word. So something of that sort. So he's very specific, which indicates that he is a observant. He's a very observant student. He's observing and he's hearing very carefully. Right. So he says, yes, mind is restless. And another thing that Arjun is concerned is that I cannot see people equally, right? Krishna just told him that in the last word. Atma vipena sarvatra samam pashyati jo Arjuna. And he's saying, okay, I cannot look at Bhishma and Karna as the same, if that's what you're expecting me to. I cannot look at Yudhishthira and Duryodhana as same. So Arjun is expressing submission, and he's also expressing some reservations. Arjun is not offensive here, right? Just like Dhruv Maharaj. Right? When Dhruv Maharaj met Narad Muni before he entered the forest, Narad Muni told him some things that, and but then he said, I like your philosophy, but I'm not able to accept it. Right? You just tell me what is the path to God realization. So Arjun is accepting instructions, but he cannot accept them. So as we say, surrendering, not surrendering our intelligence, but surrendering with intelligence. Right? So yeah. Prabhupada is saying the present age is characterized by a bitter struggle for a life of short duration. People are not serious about self-realization even by simple practical means. And what to speak of this difficult yoga system, which regulates the mode of living, the manner of sitting, selection of place, and a detachment of mind from material entanglement. So this Prabhupada is the present age is characterized by a bitter struggle. So short duration, this is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So Prabhupada will always, many times Prabhupada just gives us the verse in an English text. He doesn't necessarily quote the verse. Perfect. But you can connect it. So this comes from the 1.1.10. There is a verse where Sukadeva Goswami says, Prayanal alpayush kalu asmin yuge jana manda sumanda mateo manda bhagya hi upadrita. Those are the qualities of people in this Kali Yuga. We are short-lived, we are distracted, we are unlucky, and so there are many things that we all have to go through being born in the Kali Yuga. So, so yes. So, and Prabhupada says, we do not find any record in history of his practicing it at any time. So Arjun refused this and he never practiced it. Right? So, but somebody can say, oh, Arjun was in the forest, he was meditating on Lord Shiva and Indra. Right? Somebody can say that, but that is not Ashtanga Yoga. Right? That was not Ashtanga Yoga. It's just demigod worship for the purpose of bhakti. That's not objectionable. Right? So Arjun is going to elaborate more in the next verse. Okay, so a question for all of you. Why do you think Krishna taught this system if Arjun found it impractical? Right? Well, why do you think Krishna was teaching this verse? Even Krishna knows this is impractical, right? So that's what he's gearing towards eventually, right? That at the end of this chapter, he will say that I am the top, the yoga of connecting to me is topmost. So this is not that good. So why do you think Krishna still taught this system to Arjun if it is not practical?
Prabhu, this is like Krishna wants to kind of give an idea to Arjun that, what maybe the end state looks like, how somebody should behave. First, like kind of give the features of all of this, why he wants to do this, and then elaborate the process around it and explain the pitfalls and things like that.
But no, what do you mean? What is the final goal? So you're telling me that because he wanted to tell bhakti, so he's giving a path to it, or what do you mean by that?
So he just wants to show, Arjun what a mental state should look like without actually giving a solution to that. And he's going to give solutions in the later stages as one of the options.
Okay. Yes. And some others have raised their hands. Let's hear from them. Pratyush Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, so Krishna is giving all the way to his devotee, but actually he's not giving it in a sense that you should go and try, but sometimes these practices look so attractive that devotee might see or feel like if I do that, I may get better result. So yeah, I think that's why he's telling it. And then Arjuna itself ruled out, and devotee understand that. Even
So can you just summarize this in a sentence?
Let me try again, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
So So yeah, for a practicing devotee, right? So who is having a full trust in Bhagwan, but he come across some different path and or see it or seen somebody practicing it, so he might think of trying that, something like that. I was thinking, Prabhuji. I'm not sure.
Also, Krishna is saying that, hey, this is one path and it's impractical. So if you ever come across it, don't fall trap to it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Binu, yes, go ahead. Tell me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I think he wants to emphasize bhakti, because ultimately he wants to show that Dhyan Yoga also leads to bhakti.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Yes. Hemavati, tell me.
Yeah, it is not practical from Arjun's point of view, because the Maya and then the mind is so difficult to control. So even though knows it is difficult to control, that's why it is difficult to practice.
So my question was, why did Krishna still teach it if it is actually difficult? To show that it is difficult so that people don't fall trap to it? Is that what you mean?
Krishna is trying to bring the solution. Right now it is difficult, but Krishna is hinting there will be a solution.
Oh, okay. So eventually trying to bring Arjun to the main essence of what Krishna is teaching, he's just taking him through a path.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Yes, no, all answers make sense. It's Krishna is one thing that also that's on my mind, and I just want to highlight that is Krishna doesn't want to leave out anybody. There are a lot of people who want to practice Ashtanga yoga, and they feel that that's their path to self-realization, and Krishna is okay with that. However, even for those people, he wants to bring all of them back to bhakti. That's something that Krishna wants to do. So he brings all these things, even though Krishna knows that these are not the final things, these are not important, they're impractical. But he also knows that there is a variety of people out there, right? So yes, and adding on to just what all you have said, that's all just adding up to get to the answer. Yeah, so that's why Krishna still teaches it. And another question I wanted to ask you all. Asmita Mata, you have your hand up. You want to tell me something? Tell me.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I think that the reason why Lord Krishna made it difficult is to teach the correct way as far as dharma is concerned, to reach him and do your duties properly, the right way, in order for you to not just do your karma yoga, but also to reach him in a correct sense. I mean, I guess there are different ways to reach him beside doing your right duties, which is going into dhyan, right? Giving up everything, also, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yes. Yeah. So this is an interesting verse. I like this because here Arjuna is refusing to accept Krishna's teaching. In one sense, if you see it. So the question when I read this verse that came to my mind is, should Arjun have pushed harder and tried to make it work? We all get this challenge in our day-to-day life to understand, oh, this is my limitation, or should I push harder despite all the difficulty, right? So that's something. So Arjun is being honest here, right? And when I read this, it teaches me something about being honest. That honest in the sense that I know my limitations. However, even when saying that I cannot do something, I'm not doing it in a rude way. I'm doing it in a way which leaves the door still open, right? So Arjun is not being just contradictory to Krishna. Krishna, what you're saying is wrong. Arjun is saying, I feel it's hard, Krishna. And he's just opening the doors for Krishna to explain this furthermore. Right? So that's Arjun's honesty, right? And so that's something that interested me when I read this verse. And even in real life, we all have this challenge, right? That in a situation we start asking, have I put in enough effort? Or should I keep pushing through despite difficulty? Right? So if I ask you this question, if I read Arjun's mindset and just ask this question, is the goal wrong or just the method difficult for Arjun? Right? Let's presume if I remove the fear that Arjun has, oh, it's my God, it's so hard to control the mind. If I remove that fear for a minute, do I still feel this is unrealistic? Would this still be unrealistic for Arjun? So what do you all think about this? My question is the goal wrong or is just the method difficult? And how do you distinguish between both of them? Because I'm just applying this to a real life situation where I face it many a times that, oh my God, I'm not sure whether I'm not putting in enough effort or the thing is just not meant for me. I always have this dilemma. Every single day I have to face this. I'm just trying to open it up, see if you all have any thoughts around that. Somebody who's not spoken can speak up. There are other people who have not spoken yet. Somebody wants to speak.
I can chip in by maybe.
Yes,
This
Deepti,
makes
go ahead.
sense. So Arjuna, we read so far, like Krishna has been trying to make him understand that he's a Kshatriya and it's his duty that he should fight. And that's how, and Krishna has also told him that you should fight for me. So Krishna has given him already a way which is much, much easier, that you fight keeping me in mind, and that will be your way to liberation. So Arjuna
Okay.
practically does not have to do this. But again, coming back to your question, that has he not given enough or he hasn't even tried? Is that he's lacking? So I don't know about that. Maybe yes or maybe no. But I think first option is better for Arjun.
First option, which is that honesty, you mean?
Being a Kshatriya and like surrendering to Krishna and fight for Krishna. That's the way which is better for him.
Yeah, no, I understand that. No, thank you for adding that. What I was asking was, in this scenario where Krishna has given a long speech, right? He's talked about for 30 verses, but then Arjun suddenly says, no, I don't think this is possible for me to do. And if I apply this to a real life situation, how do I identify where I'm just being honest that, hey, it's not something I can do, or should I just keep pushing hard and saying, despite all the difficulty, I said, no, I should do this. I should do this. I think I'm not putting in my best effort here. I'm just, I'm not trying to confuse you all. I'm just trying to see that how do you apply this thought process that Arjun is going through in a real life situation? That's something I was asking.
I would say like we can give it a try to something which we feel like that can benefit me. But if it
Okay.
is not working for us and we have to work super hard for that and still not getting in place, like it feels like it's an over endearing I'm doing and it's costing me some other important things, maybe like chanting or whatever, like which will help me progress faster, then we should stop. That's
Okay.
how I would
That's a
see
good
it.
thought. Yeah, Julan Yatra, you had your hand up. Or you put your
Yeah,
hand
I
down.
was basically going to say the same thing, that
Okay.
usually like I would give it a couple of try, and like I went to for this one interview, and it was like I kind of had a feeling that is not gonna work out, but I still like went anyways, and I just wanted to like do my duty basically. So I went and it didn't work out. So
Okay.
I didn't like really keep applying to more jobs after that.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I personally see it many a times that when I sit down and try to tear apart the situation, I see many a times it's just it's just fear and comfort that makes the thing unrealistic for me, right? But then I also many times I have noticed, but as I said, I'm always in dilemma, but I try my best. How to know if I'm just being lazy or it's a genuine limitation? So I just reduce the level of difficulty in the situation, but keep the consistency, right? For example, chanting is one example. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Somebody might say, "Oh my God, I can't chant 16 rounds." Yeah, okay. So how to know if I'm just being lazy or it's a genuine limitation? I can start with small number of rounds. I'll do 4. Will I continue? Can I maintain that consistency? Somebody says, "Oh, I can't read 30 minutes." Okay, try with 10 minutes. So some thought of that comes to me also when I do it. Yes, Binu, you had something to add there, please.
I think for someone like Arjuna, knowing your limit, he knew his limitations, and for
Mm,
like me personally, many times in my life, I don't know my limitations.
yeah,
So on that end, like you said, we resort to what's comforting. Um,
yeah,
so in this particular case, like Dipti Mataji said, that Krishna had already given him the easier way, so he would obviously resort to that, right? But in
yes,
case,
yeah,
but at times when you're not aware that you don't know, I think it all depends on how much you know yourself.
yeah, yeah. That's a good way. How much do I know myself?
Right.
And so yes, and as I said, identifying whether it's comfort or fear. If it's comfort or fear, I can push a bit. But if it's just a structural change, it changes my lifestyle, pushes my capacity, I'm at a different stage of life, then I can adapt to it, right? And obviously, at the end of the day, it's always good to consult with Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. It's always very important. That can always guide us. And sometimes things might seem hard, but once we do them, we feel really good. Going to the gym is one of them. Or before going to the gym, you might feel very lazy. After going to the gym, you might feel more enthusiastic, more relaxed, or whatever. So that means that it's the right thing to do. So I was just being lazy. So there are some ways by which we can identify. But yeah, this is a good scenario of seeing how Arjun is. He doesn't have any doubt on his capacity. So that's a good thing, and that's something good to understand and try to imbibe in our lives. Binu, you wanted to add something more? Are your hands still up, or it's just from past? Okay, you loaded. Sandeep, yes, you wanted to add something?
I mean, one thing that struck me is obviously like Arjun is so smart that
Mm,
just by hearing, he could make a decision. What is his limitation? Like
yeah,
he can't control his mind, for example. To me, I would have actually made, a million mistakes. And then I
mm,
would have realized, hey, this is something, I can't do.
yeah,
So, and that's what I've seen. Like I do sometimes. I feel like I keep pushing something, even though I have limitations. Because if I don't do it, I feel guilty of not doing my best effort, and then I sometimes hit failure. So I think that's a huge thing takeaway for me personally.
yeah. And I mentioned a couple of ways I try, but as I said, I always have that dilemma. I reduce the difficulty and see that am I able to do that? And if I'm able to do it, that means just earlier it was just my fear that was prohibiting me. And I've also noticed that many times I will say, "Oh, I don't have time during the day," and then I end up spending 2 hours just scrolling on my internet. So that means it was just being lazy. So what do I do instead, if not do the thing that Krishna is asking me to do, right? So that's another way that I look at it. Not that I always use it and it works out for me, but yeah, some ways. Okay, so let's just keep moving. So this second one is a continuation of what Arjun is thinking. So he's saying the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, I think it is more difficult than controlling the wind. Now that's interesting, right? So chanchalam means restless, right? So it's always moving from here and there. The word pramati means wild. That's turbulent here, right? Balavad, and balavad is strong, and dridham is there's the term dridham is obstinate, right? So that's obstinate. So they all are different words, right? So chanchalam is like a child. It cannot sit quietly. Restlessness leads to mischief, injury, little danger, right? Uh, Parmati, the word parmati is agitating, or in some way, some places, parmati is also used to indicate madness, right? Some sort of, it could be a defect in the brain or just a challenge, right? Disconnected to reality, something of that sort, right? So, yeah, so there are many places where these words are used. So, yeah, sometimes if your mind is even mad, right, just calling it mad, it can still be strong, like a boxer, right? Who was that boxer? What was his name? Mike Tyson, right? He bit somebody's ear while fighting. Yeah, he's very strong, but he's also mad. So, um, uh, yeah, so there's all these qualities of the mind. Actually, in the 11th canto, in the prayers of, not the prayer, the story of Avanti Brahman, he says that the mind has godlike powers, fearsome godlike powers. So it's ferocious. The mind's ferocious, right? And Krishna himself says, in the Indriyanam Manaschashmi, in the 10th chapter, Krishna says that out of all the senses, I'm the mind. So that's the strongest. It represents Krishna's supreme power, right? So yeah, so Arjun is presenting all this, right? So, and then the word dridham is very strong. It's used in a negative sense, but you will see the word dridham is also used in a positive way in many places, right? Satatam kirtan tomam yatantascha dridhavrita. Dridha. That comes in the 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita, 14th verse. Satatam kirtan tomam yatan. The dridham is there. That's determination, determined vow, and that's the good way. Here, dridha is being used in a negative way, right? Uh, yeah, so some different words for it, and then Prabhupada gives the hierarchy of all the parts, right? That individual is the passenger, intelligence is the driver, mind is the driving instrument. Like you see the picture in Bhagavad Gita, there's a person holding the reins of the horses. The senses are the horses, the reins are the mind. The person driving it is the intelligence, and the passenger is the soul. So that's the way we look at this body. Okay. And then Krishna comes in. Oh, here it is. That's what I was confused. So Abhyasa and Viragya is here. It was not, I thought it was earlier. O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Right? So first, Krishna is empathizing with Arjun. Yeah, Arjun, I understand. Yes, it is difficult, right? Obviously, what Krishna is teaching us here in this verse is that just don't go ahead and start chastising people if they come and tell you a problem. There are a lot of people, right? We all are neophytes. We all are beginning our bhakti practices and trying to progress in the best possible way. And if somebody doesn't do something, we just don't go outright and start chastising them. That's not a good way to treat devotees. You don't do that. Not that you all do it, but just keeping it in mind, right? Then so don't dishearten people. And that's what Krishna is showing us here. He's accepting, oh yeah, Arjun, I accepted. Yeah, it's very hard. But then he also says that it's going to be done by practice and detachment, right? If someone comes and tells you, oh, I do only one round, you don't start belittling them and say, oh, you're not doing 16 rounds yet. You've been coming for 6 months to the temple. You're useless. But we don't do that. What Krishna is doing in the whole Bhagavad Gita is bringing the whole philosophy down to people's level. That's what we are seeing here. He's talking about karma, jnana, dhyana. Why? Because there are people at different levels. Right? Uh, so yeah, so that's one practical lesson to take from this verse, that don't belittle others. And then practice and detachment. When we are sick, taking medicine is practice, and vairagya is the don'ts. Don't do this, don't eat that, so forth. So yeah, so practice. That's what Prabhupada has taught us in chanting. Your mind runs away, you bring it back. Goes away, bring it back. And then sit in a place where you don't get disturbed. So that's abhyasa and vairagya. Right? So, and you need both of them. Okay. So abhyasa is to engage positively, and along with, we restrict the agitation of the mind by vairagya. By vairagya, mind becomes subdued, and by abhyasa, mind becomes transformed. If you try to transform the mind without subduing it, it becomes very difficult. 99% of the people don't do either one of them. Some people do just one of them, right? Therefore, all the problems in this world. If only abhyasa and no vairagya, not good. Then Mahaprabhu actually says, there's a verse in the, I think it's in the Adi Leela. Mahaprabhu says, Bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtan, tabu na paye Krishna pade prem dhan. So even after you do Shravan Kirtan for a long time, but you don't so you will not still find Premadhan if you're doing it in an offensive way, in a detached, not in a detached, and in a vairagya and in practice properly. Right? So that's something that's something Krishna is highlighting here. Yeah, okay. Vyasa and Vairagya. See, Prabhupada is adding something. Prabhupada is quoting this verse from, this is coming from the 11th canto. It's, I think it's 11, 14, 20. Let me see if I can find this. It's a very good verse for us to memorize if we can. I think it's 11, 14, 20. Let me see if I can find it. It's 11, no, it's not 11, 14. Where is it? Bhakti Parishanu Bhava Viraktir Anyatya Chaisati Ka Ekakala. I don't know, it's not that one. Let me see. Bhakti Parishan Bhava Viraktir. Which verse is that? Oh, 11:242. Sorry. Okay, let me show you quickly the verse so that you know what Prabhupada is referring to here. So this is the verse he's saying. Parishanubhava. Prabhupada is using that word in there. That Parishanubhava. Para Isha Anubhava. The transcendental Anubhav. You can realize that, Bhagavan. And the verse that Prabhupada is quoting here is to tell us that devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things, these three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger comes simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating. So that's just interesting, connecting it to what we eat food. Similarly, when we do bhakti, these things happen automatically. This is 11:242. Prabhupada is bringing out that verse. Okay, next verse. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. So Krishna always says it's my opinion, but that doesn't mean that that means that he's just saying it out of humility. Right? So what the meaning of this point is that, so the point of this verse is that if one controls mind with proper endeavor, it is possible. So Krishna is encouraging, but he's not compromising here. Right? So this first part, he's accepting it. That, okay, yes, it is difficult, but he's not compromising, okay, I don't do it. Yeah, he's accepting it, but then he's also encouraging us that, yes, by use appropriate means and you will be able to do it. Right? So Krishna obviously is not directly saying it's bhakti, right? But yeah, so it's appropriate means bhakti here. That's what the meaning is. Okay, let's see. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control a mind. A Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. Okay, that's interesting. Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. Okay. So Prabhupada is saying a Krishna conscious person easily achieves the results of yoga. What do you all think? Have you all have been practicing for some time? Do you feel that it is easy to achieve that? Is it easily achievable? Somebody who has not spoken. This question is for them. Now I'll give a moment for others to speak up. I know there are many who have not spoken up.
Prabhuji, can you please repeat the question once again?
I'm saying Prabhupada in this purport is saying that a person, where is that? Krishna conscious person easily achieves the results of yoga practice without separate endeavor. So Prabhupada is saying you easily achieve the results, but we all have been practicing for some time. Have we achieved it, or is it easy? Do you find it easy? That's what my question is.
Prabhuji, I find both the yogas difficult, the Ashtanga yoga as well as the Bhakti yoga. They both are difficult,
Okay.
especially, they both are difficult in their own ways. Like for Ashtanga yoga, you need to be very flexible. And for Bhakti yoga, the mind always goes in different direction whenever we try to chant. So the both are difficult. But
Okay.
yes, we have to, for Bhakti yoga, we can say it's quite possible. We can achieve in to some extent because we can always bring back our mind in Krishna conscious and chanting. We can do it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Um,
Prabhupada
I
sorry, go ahead.
I believe that it is easier being in Krishna consciousness, but it is still difficult for us.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's take it from what you just said, Vidyanathaji. Let's take it. What makes it difficult? Can somebody think of that?
Prabhuji
What is
might
it?
be,
Yes, go
sorry,
ahead.
Prabhuji might be we are not determined by the Guru and Shastra. That's
Hmm.
why we are, to getting something, but when we are we are not reaching somewhere because
Yes.
we are not firm faith on our Shastras and Guru. That's why this is a chances, Prabhuji. That's why we are fallen down in some, after going somewhere and we are just fall down because we don't have firm faith.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yes. Prabhupada says this in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagavad Gita is a theistic science. Prabhupada calls it a science. So according to science, if you perform an experiment in the right way that you have been told to, it is going to work. It should work. So if it is not working, there is something wrong we are doing in the path. Right? Prabhupada is saying it's easy. And we have seen so many devotees who have achieved it. They have a lot of Prabhupada disciples. They didn't have a background of bhakti, but they've achieved it. So there is something that's missing, right? So something that is not being, that we're not doing the experiment correctly. Right?
Prabhuji, also because we're in also the yuga that's always pulling us, like Maya is always pulling us left, right, and center. That also hinders us, even if we wanted to, close our eyes and just get into a position where we're in dhyan. Something's always disturbing us.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yes. Yeah, and there are three things that I have noticed that are deficient in myself. It's not like, and it's not going to be like our bhakti will be hard every single day. Some days it's going to be very easy. My mind will be in control. Some days it's going to be a nightmare. And it, it depends on at least three things that I think is, or at least I've felt in my process, is that its intention is one of them, right? And is my intention correct of doing what I'm doing? If I if you know if I'm doing a service or something to feel proud or for people to glorify me, that's the wrong intention to have. Krishna consciousness will not work. And the second thing is attention. Am I doing it with the right attention that I have been asked to do it with, or I'm just doing it casually? Right? And the third is the action by itself, right? Of any of these three levels of intention, attention, and action, if we are deficient, Krishna consciousness will be very hard for us. Yes, first of all, we have to got to do the action. Then the next is the attention, right? Are we mindful enough, right? And then even if we are present there, if you're mindful, remembering why am I doing it, right? Then you need to bring your heart into it. If the heart is not involved, intention is not devotional, we may not get good results, right? So that's why there is so much of a stress on association. Again, if you go into a Mumbai local train, all you need to do is to place yourself in the crowd that is getting off to get off the train. That's all. The whole crowd will push you out, right? And the crowd will carry you. You don't have to do much. So they just carry you out. So as long as you have positioned yourself properly. So yeah, so it's also association that matters, right? And that's why it's important that we read Bhagavad Gita every day, because it's knowledge that makes us peaceful. It brings all those things, the intention, the attention, and the action in the right place for us, right? It helps you realize that there is something beyond this world, right? Everything is fine. It's Krishna's plan, right? So it helps you get into that consciousness 24/7, right? And it's not like you have to keep all the verses on the top of your mind 24/7, right? For example, you might not remember what you ate 2 days ago, but that food is still nourishing you. It's nourishing me. So I might not remember what I read today, but it still nourishes my soul. So we should read every day Bhagavad Gita. That's all I've been requesting you, right? That's because it helps you bring together the intention, the attention, the action in the right way. Right? And if you do the same thing every day, again and again, it provides you a lot of energy. As they say, right, there's a saying, location carries energy and your time carries memory. What that means is that if you do, let's say you chant at the same time every day, your mind will be much more focused. And if you do it at the same place, then it becomes a part of you. The place becomes a part of you. The time becomes a part of you. So it's important to think of it from that perspective also. It nourishing your soul. So yes, so that's what I really like, how Prabhupada, brings out so many things in his purpose that we could just peel and understand. So that's the beauty of Prabhupada's writing. Okay, let's see what Arjun is saying next.
Oh,
So
yes.
these were that. Sorry, yes, there was a question. Somebody saying something?
Yeah, Prabhuji, it's the intention, right? So for me, one of the biggest thing I think personally is, intention is a bigger problem for me because, my intention is I want to be Krishna conscious so that I could be peaceful, I could see Krishna sometime. I could have this, I could have that, like even spiritually. And I think probably that I is a big problem here. Instead of like pleasing Krishna and loving Krishna, it's more like, okay, what do I get out of it?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good observation, Prabhu. It's at the end of the day, it has to be for Krishna's pleasure. Every service you do, every action, right? Yat karoshi yad ashnashi yad juhosi dadashi yat tapasyasi kaunteya kurushva madarpanam. In 9th chapter, 27th verse, Krishna says this to Arjuna. Whatever you do, Arjuna, you do it for me. So similarly, even when we sit down to chant, we have to accept how weak we are. Understand that it's Krishna's mercy that He's giving us this bodily strength. He's giving us this time. He's giving us everything so that we can sit down and chant. That's also coming from Krishna. So chanting is also a service if you do it for Krishna. If you and also if you do it for a spiritual master, you do it for Prabhupada, that even actually accentuates it further. But the moment I comes into the picture, yes, you're right, as you said rightly, that makes it a challenge. The I becomes a wall between me and Krishna. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhu.
Oh, Khana.
Okay. So 37. Arjuna said, so this was the part hard. Krishna said, Krishna gave a very clear-cut answer. Abhyasa Vairagya. Now the Arjuna has come to the next question. Oh Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist, who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism, right? So now Arjuna has asked that question, how to deal with mind. Krishna has given an answer, okay? Persistence, detachment, abhyasa, vairagya. Now Arjun now gets a question, okay, I get your point, Krishna. You're asking me to persevere, do abhyasa, do vairagya. But now that I think of those things, it makes me look like it's going to take a long time, right? I just cannot control my mind overnight. It's going to be very, very hard. So this question is an obvious thing. Okay, Krishna, I'll try it. But now tell me what happens if I don't complete it. So that's what Arjun is asking next. That, yeah, you told me to control my mind. You told me abhyas and vairagya, and I know it's going to take time. So tell me what happens to those people who are not able to complete it. Right. And then what Arjun is specifically asking here, just to highlight that, he's saying with faith, there is faith. Shraddha is there. Right. But the person is not successful. What happens? There's a phrase here that I like very much. Chalita manasa. Chalita manasa. Chalita manasa, Prabhupada translate as deviated mind. Chalita manasa. Chalita is similar to the word chanchala. Chalita, chanchala, same similar words, right? So the whole chapter is about mind, right? So chalita, yes, chanchalam is restlessness, right? But here chalita is the next level of chanchala. It's not just restless, it just goes off completely, takes the person completely off the path, right? They become a big mental deviation. And then Krishna Arjun is asking, where will be their gatim? Gatim is the destination. Destination? Yes, destination. So what is the destination of such people? That's what Arjun is asking Krishna. Right? And Prabhupada, very interestingly, the purport to, let's see what Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada is saying there are three paths. Path of knowledge, that's Jnana Yoga. Path to practice, Eightfold System, that is Ashtanga Yoga, or by Bhakti Yoga, right? But then Prabhupada gives the essence that in each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can establish the Lord link. If any of these three, well, Bhakti Yoga is direct, but Jnana and Dhyana are indirect. If they don't have the goal of connecting with relationship with God, they're incomplete. Right? So, and Prabhupada is saying, if you understand that all these are linked to Krishna, then you can reach to the supreme goal sooner or later. Obviously, Dhyan and Jnana will take you longer, Bhakti will take you shorter. But as long as you have the final goal is Krishna in your mind, then you can achieve it. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. Let's see what else is Prabhupada saying. Okay. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. I'm just trying to see. Okay, so this is good. Okay, so yes, this is the question that Arjun has, that the person has faith, but he gets chalita manasa, completely pushed off the path. Right. So Arjun's question is showing compassion. He's being realistic here. He's not asking about perfect yogis. He's asking about people like us. Right. So let me put a question to all of you here. Is that what happens, or how to put the question? Why do you think someone would start with faith but later lose momentum? What are the obstacles? And what is an obstacle for you if you can think of? Can somebody share what would the obstacles be for a person who started with faith but then lost momentum and just went off the path? Yeah, I'm sure you might surely know devotees like that who came to the temple very enthusiastic, came to 16 rounds, and a month later they disappeared, never to be seen again. So what do you think was that made them lose the momentum? What is the obstacles that you can think of? And let me see who
Prabhuji,
has
not
not.
believing in Shastras.
Okay, not believing in Shastras, that's a good one.
Having materialistic expectations.
Yeah, having materialistic expectations still in the heart, yeah. Thinking of, yes, showing that I'm here for bhakti, but actually being for materialistic gains. Yes.
Getting wrong association outside of the temples.
Okay. Yes, wrong association or no association, both of them. Yes, that's a good point. Right? If somebody just becomes, if there is no accountability, the person can drift. Or if he gets into a company of somebody who are strong enough to convey a wrong message to them, they become susceptible and they become vulnerable and they accept it. Yeah, both of them. That's a good one. Yes. What else?
Not
My,
following guidances as for your Guru Maharaj, or even not having any association with devotees.
Okay. Yeah.
Prabhuji, over endeavoring of anything.
Over endeavoring. Yes. Unrealistic intensity. Being unrealistic. Yeah, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. I'll chant my 16 hours immediately. I'll read 1 hour daily. It works for 3 to 5 days, but then it crashes out. Yes. So yes, we have to start small, and then we slowly consistency. From consistency we go to intensity. Yeah.
And probably also a lot to do with whom you like. I've seen like a lot to do with whom you met in the temple, and if you hear them. Because if you are in constant touch with them, then you keep that momentum. But if you lose that touch, then But if you also meet the wrong person in the temple, that's another thing, because I know a couple of
Yeah.
friends who came in there and they got discouraged because somebody met, they did not actually convey them the right ISKCON message. So just
Oh,
one.
yes. That's very detrimental. Not just for the person who left the temple, but for the person who did that, it affects their bhakti also. That's a very, very wrong thing to do. I remember many, many years ago, um, there was a temple that I know of which had Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman deities. Sorry, Sita, Ram, and Lakshman, Hanuman deities. And there was this new fresh off the boat brahmachari, and somebody who came there, and he was just glorifying Lord Rama. That person, there was a couple, elderly couple, and they were just glorifying Lord Ram and say, "Oh, we only connect with Rama," and that person just blasted them left and right. "Oh, Rama is not that senior. It's not the supreme. Krishna is supreme. You're wasting your time on Rama." And those people just left and never came back to the temple. So yes, so that's a good point you bring out. Yeah. Okay. Let's see who has not spoken yet. Who all are there? Vrinda, you there? Can I ask you?
Prabhu,
yeah.
sorry.
Just let Vrinda speak. Yeah, Vrinda, go ahead.
Probably like making offenses, or even having irregular, like being irregular in hearing and chanting, or like having uncontrolled senses.
Uncontrolled senses. Okay. Yeah, unmanaged mind. Yeah, that's the theme of this chapter itself. Right? The mind seeks comfort, avoids discipline, right? So it resists repetition. So that could be a good reason, right? Uh, we have to make our practice non-negotiable, just like brushing teeth. Yep, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to add on these? Yes,
Prabhuji,
Peter.
may I?
Yes,
The
go ahead.
mind deviates in the material things and
Okay,
losing
yeah,
the faith
yeah.
in
Yeah,
this.
material attraction to material things has not, there is no immediate taste to anything. The mind continues to be distracted and it just keeps on asking, what's the point? What's the point? There's so much fun in material life. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Binu, go ahead.
Yeah, I think determination is very important. So
Yeah.
if you're not determined, then you're not going to do it. So
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one.
And
Yes,
Prabhu,
Shyam
there's some
Sundar.
previous cases. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, there are previous cases where there was a life-changing illness that occurred that took him off the path. I think I have read that. So that could also play into that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a valid point. It's something beyond their control, but yeah, right. But yeah, it could be that they just physically they cannot sustain that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. One thing I have noticed in myself, I have done this, not now, but when I started doing things, when I started practice, I um I'm still am, but I was, and I'm still am emotional, right? That I would hear something and then I would suddenly say, oh wow, this sounds so good, and that would inspire me. But then the next day my inspiration would go away, right? So I couldn't build a repeatable routine. But now, Krishna mercy, Guru mercy, I have some repetition that I can continue. No, by mercy. So yeah, so that's the challenge that I had. And also, as I was earlier mentioning, about the intention, attention, and action. If we make the practice mechanical, then there is no meaning to it, right? If we bring reflection to everything that we read or we hear, that makes it more tasteful, right? So the way we should always try to do, when you hear something, yeah, that's good. You hear something, you heard, okay, we heard from Prabhupada, we hear from our spiritual master, like you have to chant regularly, read regularly, hear regularly, and we practice that, and then we reflect on it. Okay, is this working for me? What did I, and reflecting, and then also having some peers whom we can share it with. So that all really makes it very tasteful. It gives us clarity. It gives us meaning to the whole process, right? So the momentum is not built by intensity. The momentum is built by identifying ourselves as devotees. That, hey, I'm somebody who chants every day. I'm somebody who reads daily. Right? Then the momentum becomes natural. There was this very good example I heard many years ago. Was there were three friends. Okay, one of them pulls out a cigarette, and he's about to smoke, but then he offers it to one of his friends. The other two, who are they? One of them. So that guy says, no, I'm trying to quit. And then he offers it to the third one. And the third one says, I don't smoke. They both were quit in the position of quitting, but one said, I'm trying to quit. That shows that he's still not committed to it. He's still thinking that I'm not strong enough. He's not identifying himself with a non-smoker. Whereas the other person has already identified himself. I'm a non-smoker. I don't smoke. So he has identified itself with that. That really helps us a lot also. Okay, a lot of. Let's see.
And Prabhu, like sometimes even if you don't have motivation, you should push yourself, right? For example, like there is this one Prabhu that he used to come a lot, and he had some issues. He stopped coming, and because of some other Prabhu, right? Whatever. So to me, Prabhuji, like in any situation in life, right? Like even when Krishna was here physically, then there were like Duryodhana, right? But then there was also Yudhishthira. So one has to choose Yudhishthira, right, in the same setting if there's a Duryodhana nearby, right? So that's another thing. Like even if you have to go out of your comfort zone, just because you have that setting, then you should do that, right? Push yourself. That's
You
another.
should push yourself. It becomes easier to push yourself if you are in a routine. If you have told, if that's what I was mentioning, right? Like time holds energy. No, was this time holds energy? No, time holds memory. That's what I was saying. I'm just trying to remember. So if you do the same thing every day, if you can do it at the same time at the same place, it really makes it very strong. It makes a strong impression in your mind. That Prem Dham, he wakes up at this time, he chants his 16 rounds, he hears, he reads, and this is fixed. So that, yes, determination is very important. Pushing yourself is very good. Repetition and putting in your mind that, hey, this is what I do every day, non-negotiable. That also adds on to it. But yes, determination is also important.
Like basically go out of your comfort zone, right? I mean, you don't have to be comfortable all the time, because
Well,
you're on a
all, yeah,
mission
all,
here. We're on a
yeah,
mission
all,
here, right? So
yeah, all the progress happens when you're out of your comfort zone. See, there is a comfort zone, there is a stretch zone, and there's a burn zone. Don't go into the burn zone. You'll burn out. But be in the stretch zone. If comfort zone, progress does not happen. Yeah, you might sustain it. Yeah, okay, I'm floating. Okay. But to make progress, you have to get out of the comfort zone. You have to make a choice. No, I want to do this. I will do this. I'll go out for service. Even if, let's say, sometimes what happens, I've seen devotees I have done that many times. If there is a program in the morning, I say, well, what's the use of going to the temple in the evening? I won't go. So no, you have to go to the temple every evening. You're not going there to see Krishna. You're going there to show Krishna yourself that, hey, Krishna, I'm here. See, I'm your servant. I'm trying to be consistent. And then, so yeah, yes, it helps. Okay. Oh, mighty, this is the next verse, 38. Oh, mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away both material and spiritual and material success and perish like a ribbon cloud with no position in any sphere? This is interesting. Arjun is giving an analogy, right? We see these kind of analogies again and again about nature, right? There was one in the second chapter, right? Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake. The well and river is there. Krishna gives the analogy of lotus in the 5th chapter. Brahmani adhyay karmani sangam tyakta karotiha lippate nasa papena padma patra mivam bhasha. So what Arjun is saying is that he's just elaborating the Chalita Manasa we just talked about, the distracted mind, right? So the cloud's just torn apart. It's so distracted. It's so Chalita Manasa that it's just gone away completely, right? So we leave material to come to spiritual, right? That's what we're doing. But what if when we have left material but we never reach the spiritual? That's what Arjun is asking. It's not a theoretical question. It's serious because we have put our life out for this. We have changed our lives. Our future is dependent on our spiritual practices. So why not take it seriously? That's what Arjun is asking here. Okay, so let's see the next verse. This is my doubt, Krishna, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Oh, this is interesting. Arjun he's gone deeper in it, right? Etan me samshaya Krishna, right? That's what Krishna is saying. Arjun is saying. Etan me samshayam Krishna. This is my doubt, O Krishna, right? And then Arjun is asking to destroy. Chitta. I think chitta means destroy. Remover, yeah, destroy. So Arjun is asking Krishna to destroy. But the interesting thing is here, he's saying only Krishna can clear it. Only you can clear it. When we read in the 2nd chapter, when 7th verse, Arjun surrendered to Krishna, he says, Prachami tvam dharma samudha cheta. That I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Arjun didn't clearly say, only you can tell me what is best for me. Arjun said that, yes, I'm surrendering to you. Please tell me what is right. Right? But his mind was still not perfectly in Krishna consciousness. At least he was demonstrating it that way. Right? So apart from Krishna, nobody can answer now. So though he's become more focused. So this shows the progression of a disciple, if you see it. Yes, I'm surrendering to you. Yes, my mind is still distracted. I go to hear some Babajis in Vrindavan. Sometimes I hear to some other, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciple, whatnot, people, all that. But when we start doing service, if we come out of our comfort zone, we're doing that Abhyasa and Vairagya, Krishna will teach us how to focus. People have there's a notion out there, people think that, oh, Prabhupada didn't give us enough. Prabhupada gave us the basics, but to get something else, to go to rasa, go to prema, we have to go somewhere else. That's just all pure nonsense, if you ask me. Prabhupada gave us everything. But people, because of their Chalita Manasa, they just never are able to make it. So we have to be chaste to Prabhupada. We have to be very, very focused on what Prabhupada is teaching us and telling us. And at least for the initial neophyte stage, not go around shopping, window shopping. Oh, let me hear to this Babaji in Vrindavan. He's very popular. Famous cricketers and movie stars go to him. Let me go to this person he's such a wonderful speaker. He gives a very good class in Telugu. Let me go hear from him. You have to understand, but first be focused. Listen, imbibe, assimilate, adopt. Once you have done that, then you can go and listen to others. But if you start doing it right in the beginning, you and I, both of us, will be like the riven cloud. We would have left material world, but never reached the spiritual world, hanging somewhere in between. One fast gust of wind, and we'll be gone. So this is a progression of a devotee. Okay, let's see 40. What does our Krishna reply? Supreme Personality of Godhead said, son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. What a beautiful, motivating verse here, right? Neither here nor in the future, in the next world, person meets destruction, right? So this is a very interesting thing. So Krishna is telling Arjuna clearly, hey, don't worry. Even if your bhakti is not complete, there's nothing is going to be lost, right? So Krishna is saying you'll never be overcome by evil. And Krishna actually gives a very bold statement, Pratijanihi konteya name bhaktya pranashyati. Arjun, go and make this declaration that my devotee never perishes. So nobody in this entire creation except Krishna can give us this foolproof assurance that nothing is going to happen, nothing's going to go wrong, Prem Dham. You just stay with me. So there's something interesting here. Okay. Which one is this? 40, 41? 40. Okay. So Prabhupada here, oh yeah, this is it. Okay, let's look at this. The purport may be understood as follows. Humanity may be divided into two sections, namely the regulated and the non-regulated. Those who are engaged simply in bestial sense gratification without knowledge of their next life or spiritual salvation belong to the non-regulated sections. If you remember the ladder I showed you, which one is this part? Simply in bestial sense gratification. Let me see if I have that ladder somewhere. I can pull it up and we can just quickly work on it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. And can anybody think in the meantime? Tell me, what is this referring to? You remember the ladder, right? Karma, karma kanda, sakam karm, nishkam karm, dhyana, jnana, dhyana, bhakti, kevala bhakti. Where does this one stand? Simply in bestial sense gratification. Nobody remembers the whole thing I explained?
Yep. Prabhuji, Karmakand, that's where person want to enjoy and sense of gratification, and even before that,
This is karma. This is just plain karma before karma kanda.
Okay, let's give me a second. Let me share it. And I'm trying to do something. I'll see if I can show both the screens at the same time. I can. I don't know if it's small enough. Okay, so this is karma you're saying, right?
Yes.
Yes, the bestial sense gratification. And then Prabhupada says, so that's the without knowledge. And those who follow the principle of prescribed duties in scriptures are classified among the regulated section, right? So so those are karma khandis, right? They are following the prescribed duties given in the scriptures. Right? Okay. Both non-regulated, that's fine. those who are following the path of auspiciousness, the followers of scriptural regulations who are enjoying material prosperity. Who's that? Come on, everyone. Sanvi. Where in this ladder is this person, the follower of scriptural rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperity?
I'm honestly not sure.
Okay. Give it a try. See, they're enjoying material prosperity. That should give you some hints. They still have karma in their heart.
Prabhuji, is it Sakam Karma Yoga?
Yes, Sakam Karma Yoga. That's right. So Sakam Karma Yoga. What I wanted to just show you how Prabhupada very brilliantly puts the whole ladder in just a couple of paragraphs for us to understand. Just keep that in. So that's Sakam Karma Yoga. And then there are those who are trying to find the ultimate liberation from material existence. So, and then those who are devoted to Krishna consciousness. So devoted to Krishna consciousness, and I think I have all of them here. Let's see where is that. So let's see what is next one, right? So here they are the Nishkam Karma Yoga who are no fruit for, they don't desire for sense gratification. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. Those who are following the rules and regulations may be further divided into two classes. Those who are fruitive workers and those who desire no fruits. So no fruits is Nishkam Karma Yoga. And then the second one here, those who are trying to find the ultimate liberation from material existence. They are all Jnana Yogis, right? And then there are there is a mention of Eightfold Yoga system here also somewhere where Prabhupada talks about it. Yes, and then the last one, which Prabhupada is saying, those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness, that's Bhakti Yoga. Right? So Prabhupada has given us the whole ladder there, right? And then towards the end, he will say, all activity, people who have doing every activity in Krishna consciousness, that is Kevala Bhakti. There's nothing else in their lives. So Prabhupada has explained. So if you haven't done it, so please go and read these two chapters. This is the verse 40. And then these are two paragraphs that give a very clear description of all these people in the yoga ladder. Okay. I'll help you that way. Okay. So now what Krishna will do is, so let me go back to sharing only one of the screens so that you can see it full screen. So 41. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. So this is one thing what happens if we all don't complete bhakti. We will, we'll go to heavenly planets, enjoy there, and then we'll be born again on this planet Earth in a family of righteous people, rich people probably, who are like millionaires or billionaires, something like that. And Prabhupada further explains that the unsuccessful yogi are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after long progress. So this verse specifically talks about somebody who's done it for a short period of time. Somebody who's done bhakti for a short period of time, this is what happens to them. Right? They go to Loka, enjoy Loka, the quality of sense objects. They are much more better than in this material world, in this earthly planets. So more to enjoy there. It's like a consolation prize we get. You didn't even finish the cross line. Fine, go take this consolation prize. Right? Initially enthusiastic participants as we see people. So that's what happens to such people. So, and then Prabhupada is saying something here. Yes, those who do not persevere to such an extent and who fail because of material allurement are allowed by the grace of Lord to make full utilization of their material propensities. So perseverance is necessary. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting. As soon as I make firm commitment, this firm commitment that, yes, I want to do bhakti, then Krishna and all his potencies will come and assist us in ways with which we cannot even imagine. But first, I need to surrender. That's important. I have to commit before the help comes. See, Krishna's mercy comes in 3 stages. The first stage is Krishna gives grace. Krishna will give us opportunities. He will give us devotees, prasadam, temple, kirtan, whatnot, association. That's his first grace that Krishna gives. After that, Krishna waits. He says, okay, Prem Dham, I gave you some good things here. Now let me see how do you use them. Do I accept the opportunity gratefully and practice devotional service wholeheartedly, or I just give it up and move away? So that's a choice for us to make. If I make the choice that Krishna, I want to do bhakti, I really like these devotees, I'm a fool, I make mistakes, I'm arrogant and rude sometimes, but still they all accept me. So I really like these people. I've never met anybody like this in the real world. When I started bhakti way back in what was that 2010 or 11? I was living in Denver, Colorado, and there was this very sweet, amazing devotee, and he used to do a Bhagavad Gita class, and he invited me, and I went there, and then he took all of us to Govindas. The temple had Govindas attached to it, and the amazing prasadam. Govindas has such good prasad. I ate that, and he kept doing that day after day, and in my mind, I was just thinking, this guy is going to ask me for something. He really has something in his heart that he wants from me. That's why he's treating me so nice. But no, devotees are not like that. They're just nice for no reason. So do I make that choice to associate with devotees? When I make that choice, then Krishna gives more grace. Then he gives us inner happiness. He gives us a conducive external environment to share that happiness with others. So stage 2 of choice has to happen before the third stage of grace comes into our life. That's why perseverance is necessary. Okay, and then Krishna says, after a long practice of yoga, what happens? Right? Then that person takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare. Right? So this happens after a long practice, that we born in a family of people who are actually practicing bhakti. Right? There's no detour. Like in a person who has done it for a short period of time, there's a detour. You go to heavens, enjoy, then you are born in a family which is rich. And probably might be, if you continue your birth bhakti, then might be next life you get a good. No, here you immediately born in a bhakti practicing family. But Krishna is also saying it's very rare. Children in Hare Krishna movement are very special. There are actually, Prabhupada says, there are demigods who are waiting to be born in Bharatvarsha, in a devotee family, in any devotee family, right? So that's interesting. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. So tradition and training, Prabhupada is highlighting that, right? So devoted and learned, right? They have a tradition, means they are listening from their superiors. Training, again, going back to Abhyasa. So they're devoted and learning, tradition and training. Right? We have to create that in our houses. Proper culture, spiritual life, proper education, guidance, that has to be done. Right? And thus they become spiritual masters. Spiritual masters can also mean people who are giving knowledge. They're also spiritual masters in one sense. Right? So that's how do we do it? Okay, let's see,
Hare Krishna,
43.
Prabhu. I had a quick question.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, you were saying that a lot of the souls that come down, that those who have not finished bhakti, they come down in a well-off family. But like, I mean, so a lot of the well-off families are not even in Sanatan Dharma. So how do we look at that? And are they following Krishna consciousness? Are they following the bhakti that's prescribed out there?
So we have to understand that every living entity has free will. If I'm born in Paramatma from our heart will constantly keep telling us, Premadam, this is what you should do in the last life. Begin it. See, I have given you a conducive environment. You don't have to worry about food, clothing, shelter. Everything is available. But me as a living soul say, no, this is amazing. See, my dad's a billionaire. I can buy so many fancy cars, fancy clothes. I can go party. Again, the Paramatma cannot do anything. The living entity has to make a conscious choice. For example, I can, like, for example, if you, how to put it? The Krishna can give us everything that we need, but to raise my hands and to make that thing happen is still my choice. So, for example, if you see, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj came from a very, very rich family. I know devotees who have come from billionaire families. I know many devotees like that.
Mm.
But they chose to practice bhakti. But at the same time, we see thousands of such people who were given that opportunity, but they did not use it. So it all boils down to the free will of the living entity. Krishna is giving all the resources, but Krishna cannot force us to do things. That's our choice. So they don't make that choice. That's the way to understand it.
Yeah. I guess the fortunate ones who are coming in the well-off family, I guess the light bulb goes on, but the other ones are even going below what they were in a
Yeah.
position before, simply because like you had mentioned, right? They eat, marry, drink, buy expensive cars,
Yeah.
live
That's what they
lavish
do.
lives, and let it go to waste.
Let it go to waste. That's what they do.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so do we really want to come back in a rich family, Prabhu?
No, you don't want to. You don't want to come back at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we should not want to come back at all. And at least practice bhakti enough in this lifetime that at least you don't come back in a rich family. At least come back in a devotee family.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
In which song is that? Manasa deho geho. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that. What was it? I forgot the exact, but he says that if you want to give me birth again, Krishna, just give me a birth as a
यदि तुआ मोर something Prabhuji.
yes, something similar. Yes.
जन्म भी
So
हो यदि तुआ मोर दास
Bhakta grihe janme yahi
जन्म
asha,
यही
yahi meri asha.
अभिलाष
Yeah. So even if you want to make me, an insect, Krishna, but make me in a devotee house. That's what even Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. So that should be our thought process. That Krishna, I'm going to do bhakti as much. So that's important that we start as early as we can. Sometimes people spend years and years thinking, do I want to do it? Do I don't want to do it? Do I want to chant? My God, my family is not supportive. My wife's not supported. My kids are unanswered. We just waste our time. Start it as early as we can. Start chanting, get a guru, get it, run in the process. The more years we put in, with the best of our intention and actions and attention, the more it increases our chance that next life when we come, if we come in a bhakti devotee family. And hopefully next life we're able to complete it, if we're not able to complete this life. But yes. So that should be our desire for sure.
Maybe like these priests and these people who are actually born in those families, like serving ISKCON Vrindavan or Bake Vihari Temple and all of these places, right? Very, very pious places. Maybe they are like those category of people, right? Who are actually very, very elevated devotees in their previous life. That's why now they are born in a place where they can just do full-time bhakti only.
A devotee is identified by his intention and his like, for example, you mentioned like in Vrindavan, if you go, many temples are maintained by caste Goswamis, as they say, who just believe that only this caste of people can maintain the temple, which again is not the right way. I just want to highlight this because you brought up that example. But yes, you're right. They're born in a family. A devotee family means where you are taught the right principles of bhakti. You are taught how to practice them, internalize them, imbibe them, and live your life according to that. It could be a family who's doing who they might be doing a business for that sake. They might not be even close to a temple for might be. I know many devotees who don't have a temple around them, but they are devotees. So yes, that could be one thing, but also keep in mind that it just doesn't mean that only those people are the ones who have got a good birth. They might be misusing their birth actually.
Thank you for clarifying, because I always used to think like how lucky these people are, that they're not doing any like worldly things. They're just doing this all the time, full time. But maybe that's what you said, right? I mean,
No,
maybe
Prabhu.
their
If you
consciousness
go
is
to
not.
Vrindavan, many temples are maintained by caste Goswamis. Prabhupada really didn't appreciate that.
Okay.
Nobody should become a temple proprietor or temple caretaker just because you were born in a family. And once you're done with your arti in the back, you go and smoke cigarette. No, that's not appropriate. And once again, Vrindavan Vasis, we cannot comment. I'm not to that level. But they are not setting a good example. But then again, it's not our business to see how they are living. My business is to find my faults and rectify them and be as good as I can in this life. But yeah, keep in mind that yes, it could be a different level of people who are internally pure devotees. There's a in Chaitanya, we're already over time. I'll just wrap up. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a person called Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He's Radharani's father in the spiritual world. And if you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'm not sure if it's Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavad, one of those. He lives an extremely opulent life. He wears very good silken clothes. He has pure fragrant oil in his hair. He's wearing perfumes and he has this silk bed sheets and a very good house and so forth. But the moment he hears Krishna's name, he just goes mad. That's a devotee right there. Gadadhar Pandit, the Panch Tattva, one of them, he was a disciple of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So yeah, externally it might be hard for us to identify a devotee, but by his internally, yes, that person can present himself as a devotee much better. Okay, we are at 8:32. Sorry for going over time. Thank you very much. I know we just abruptly wrapping it up, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Vrajamati, I'll answer your question. I saw that you put in the beginning. I'm sorry I couldn't come to that. I'll answer your question.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.